Ladies and gentlemen, here we are yet again as 6 blocks apart as I'm surrounded by the familiar group of degenerates. I'd like to introduce someone really special. Everybody, big hand, Tonja Walker.
Woo! I get claps. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
What's going on? What you up to?
I'm happy to be here. What's going on? How'd you come up with this idea for this show?
I'm pointing to that.
We were bored.
Yeah.
We were bored. And we said, we can't go anywhere. We can't see our friends. And we did it mostly because we were bored, but we thought it'd be maybe entertaining for a couple of other people. And so here we are, still doing it.
Yeah.
We've actually got outsiders listening. How many? We're not sure.
You got outside?
We did. We went outside.
Yeah.
You mean for a show?
No. It's
Oh,
just
you mean out your door?
It's a YouTube thingy.
Yeah, it's just a
We went out
YouTube.
of it.
But you'd be surprised what comes out of boredom.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of creativity sometimes.
Good things and
Yeah.
bad things.
I'm sure there's a lot of shows out there right now that are in the cooking pot.
That sounded really bad.
I know.
So anyway, that was Tristan.
Yes, that was Tristan. That was not
Just
me.
his chair. Just his chair.
Yeah, we can hear his chair.
Tanya.
So, yeah, he disappeared for a minute.
No. Well, anyways, it's Tonja, right? We said
Yeah.
it's Tonja. Okay, I want to pronounce it correctly. My name's always pronounced wrong, my last name.
But you spell it with a J?
Yeah, Mom did that.
That's cool. I like that.
Mom did that. She was named after Sonia Henne, who was a very popular way before I was born ice skater.
Uh-huh.
She was like a star ice skater. So she was named after her, and she was always called Sonia instead of Sonia. So when she met my dad, and his name was Tom, she decided to
Oh.
spell my name wrong.
Yeah.
Perfect combination.
Yeah.
Oh,
And she joined the two.
Huh?
She joined the two names, Tom and Sonia.
Yeah.
Well, so when you were a little kid in school, did they call you Tonja because they didn't know how to pronounce it?
They called me Fatso Godzilla for
Oh.
yes. But you know, they can kiss my little pretty now.
Yeah, well,
That is
wait,
so true.
I get that. Oh,
you
yeah.
were Miss Teen. Weren't you Miss Teen?
Yeah, but this was way before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So where were you Miss Teen? What state were you?
Maryland.
Maryland, okay.
Yeah, I was Miss Maryland Teenager. And then I won the national title of Miss Teen AllAmerican. And I went all over the world there. And then I came back and they asked me to come to the Miss Maryland pageant. And I didn't enter the first one, so I really didn't want to enter any of them. The babies, I used to babysit for this woman that lived behind us, and so she entered me, and I got these acceptance letters in the mailbox. So that is when you see how much money you can win, and all the different benefits that come from it, and so that's what I did. But it was amazing to be Miss Teen AllAmerican and Miss Maryland, having had so much teasing growing up, you know.
That's what you should have said, kiss my.
Yeah. Well, really, I'm not that way. I wish I was sometimes, but I'm really not. So I remember when I went back to my 5-year high school reunion, and I was on Capitol. No, I might have been on General Hospital. And I was running around signing autographs all night to the same people that gave me crap when I was in elementary school.
Oh, wow.
And when I came home, I was just exhausted. And Mom said, "Did you have a good time?" And I said, "Yeah, I did. I'm just so tired." And she said, "Did you run for president again?" And I said, Yes, I did. Because I was always in student council and politics in school, you know.
Right.
And so I wanted to make sure they knew I hadn't changed, that I was still a nice person.
Oh,
So
that's good.
I cared entirely too much about what everybody else thought, but you know.
Oh, I
You
know.
know.
We only knew back then. Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting. Did you always, you knew you wanted to be an actress?
oh yeah.
Is that how you got your start in the door through the pageants, or?
Yeah, Richard Klein discovered me. He was on Three's Company.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
And he was a judge at the pageant. And the day after the pageant, there was one of those torrential Biloxi, Mississippi rainstorm. We think we're going to have a hurricane kind of thing. And so there were 2 happy people in the Royal d'Iberville Hotel. And that was the woman that won Miss USA and her mom. And everybody else was miserable. And we were all stuck in the lobby. And it's all glass and it's all raining and there's nothing to do. This was before they had anything like gambling or anything. This was way back in 1980. So they had the convention center, and the point of having the pageant there was to get people interested in Biloxi, Gulfport, and the whole thing. So it worked.
Yeah.
But he said that he thought I should have won, but I didn't win because I was 18.
Oh,
And
interesting.
but my dad invited him to lunch with us, and so we had lunch. And after he told me don't ever be an actress, he told me to read this book called Audition by Michael Shurtleff, which everybody knows. And he gave me his card. So I got back home, and these people were calling my pageant director and saying they thought I was really photogenic and they'd like to meet me and this and that. So my dad said, why don't you call that Richard Klein? And I said, he's not going to answer the phone. He's not going to call me back. Well, he did. And he'd already talked to his manager.
Oh, wow.
And so I flew out there to meet him. And that was it. I went out for 2 weeks and I got a national commercial the second day I was there.
Wow.
I had a Polaroid. I mean, they took a Polaroid.
Oh, really? Yeah. Those days.
So the first day was pretty bad. You didn't get your commercial to the second day?
Yeah. I was just trying to find, the manager was from New York City. And he put me in a hotel that I was paying for that was down Sunset, sort of in that part of Hollywood that's not too far from La Brea.
Okay.
And he said that I could walk to his office at the 9200 building.
No way.
Yes way.
Oh my God.
So I'm walking in my heels.
Oh, no.
I didn't know that people don't. I didn't know.
I know that
There's a
night.
song called Nobody Walks in LA. Of course, that was.
So he's from New York, so he tells me to walk.
Isn't it like near Doheny?
I got every whistle from every construction worker and everybody else.
Yeah.
And when I finally got to his office, I said, I really think that I should have taken a cab here. And
Your feet must have hurt.
oh God. Well, I was so excited to meet him, I wasn't going to
Yeah,
complain.
you wouldn't think it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Funny.
I didn't start complaining until I started making money.
Yeah, okay. You knew how to do the game. There you go.
How long were you on Capitol for?
Oh, yeah.
3 years.
Was Jess Walton on there when you were on there?
She came in toward the end.
Okay.
There was another character playing her character. And then that woman left. And so I got to be with Jess for a little while, but not nearly long enough.
What network was Capitol on? I never saw
PBS.
it. PBS?
CBS.
Oh, CBS. I was going to say.
Yes.
Yes.
So where did they have Capitol? Like, what was the fictitious city that it was set in?
Well, I love politics, or I used to anyway. And this was like the Roosevelts and the Kennedys, but maybe not so much. It was more, there's no poor people in that example. This was more of the normal people, which there certainly isn't any of, in politics, but these are like the normal people in politics, the nice people in politics, and the rich kind of do anything to get ahead people in politics. And it was before West Wing. So it was really
Oh,
great idea.
So it was New England area that was the
Washington, D.C.
Was Washington.
Oh.
It was supposed to be Washington, D.C., yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
And so it was a fabulous show. Just loved it. I really loved it.
Are there any, like, can you watch it on Netflix or anything like that?
I don't know.
maybe.
I don't think you can.
Well, because you can watch Dark Shadows,
Yeah,
the original
well,
Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows is a cult show.
Okay.
It's right
Well,
out there.
Capitol could be popular now.
Well,
Capitol was
Capitol, there's
popular.
a half a dozen shows like Capitol. that should now be out there again. Who should be in rerun.
Yeah.
Capital, Port Charles, City.
City?
Yeah, called The City,
Okay.
set in New York.
People love
Probably Ryan's Hope.
Oh, Ryan's Hope.
So obviously you had Capital. That was your first one, correct?
Mhm.
And then what did you do right after that?
Well, I only did a soap opera because I was signed to NBC pretty fast, and I had a pilot that didn't sell, and it was a cross between the Partridge Family and
Wow.
what would you call it? Little House on the Prairie.
Wow.
Partridge Family and Little House on Stone.
the Partridge
So-
Prairie.
I want to read that
It was a
script.
blast. It was a blast. I loved it. I got to sing with Hoyt Axton,
Oh, wow.
up in heaven now. And he played my father. And so this was the story about, his family, and they lived on a farm, and then they would sing, so it really was those two shows combined. And it was with Warner Brothers, and I really thought we were going. And I couldn't do anything during the summer while we were waiting to find out. So he asked me if I would like to go on the road with him. Come on. This was like the most fun ever. Like ever.
Wow.
Still to this day, I go, God, that was fun. All you have to do is do your face, do your hair, sleep, get up, sing, get back on the bus, sleep, do your hair, do your face, get up, sing, get back on the bus. It's so much fun. So much fun. You get to see the whole country.
Wow. How exciting.
Yeah. Oh, it was the most fun. I had
Kind of sounds like you, Tim.
I know. I was going to say, I don't know about fun.
Hey, it's
You
lots
go
of
on the-
fun being on a tour bus. I just try not to tell her how much fun it is because I don't want her to feel like having too much fun.
I was on the tour bus.
How long were you on the tour bus, Melissa?
I just went for the day. We went from one part of New York. to the
Yeah,
other part.
it's hard.
It's a bunch of guys and it smells.
Yeah,
It's
but when we're on
disgusting.
tour, it's hard for her to come out because we're never in one place for very long. So she
I
came
know.
stayed for
Yeah.
2 nights, and then we had one not that long, like 4 hours during the day. She did not sleep in the bus as it drove at night.
I laid in the bunk. though.
Yeah, but it was during the day. So
I bet you did.
but she got
Yeah.
enough.
Close the curtain.
I loved it. That's all I can tell you. I was saying back up with him. I had 2 other girls on the bus with me,
Oh, okay.
and we would practice our harmonies and do different things, and that was it. It was just a blast.
Oh,
Well, and
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and we opened for Emmylou Harris, who I'm in love with Emmylou Harris. Used to be. We just played so many cool plays. I wanted to sing a song that I could record, So I was looking at all different kinds of songs for me to sing because he would feature us in the middle, solos in the middle.
Oh, wow.
And he said, no, you have to sing Stand By Your Man. I said, God damn it, Hoyt, I don't want to sing Stand By Your Man. He goes, that's what you want to sing. That's what you need to sing.
God,
So
I
I
grew up with
get up
that.
in front of 80,000 people, and it says, ba-bum, bum, bum. That's the way Stand By Your Man starts. And everybody was like,
yeah,
this, and I was like, okay.
he was right.
He was right. I hate that. I hate that so much.
Come back.
She's
Hello. Are you there?
a statue now.
There she is.
Yes,
You're
yes.
frozen.
Hey, she made it back. She made it back.
Yay.
On this show again, ever in my life.
That's hysterical because you were talking about a statue and then you
froze.
turned into a statue.
I know.
It was like
Talk about a statue, and then you went like
a
this.
statue. You're like. It was fun.
Really?
Yeah. You're like,
Oh.
Where's Tristan? Tristan,
I told him, I
That's
said,
not
why
a
she's
lot.
frozen, go make
Yeah.
me a drink.
oh, that was
I went and turned my stove off while you were frozen.
oh good. Oh, look at that little doggy.
Oh, Gary.
Oh, they're all
Oh,
over.
yeah.
I have
That's
3
Gary.
little rescues.
Where's the dog?
They're just
There.
Oh, okay.
That's the one with the big beep.
yeah. Yeah.
He looks kind of small, but I don't know. I can't see that well.
Well, he's just got a small stature, but
He's
Sparky.
got
Oh.
a big appendage.
He's a
Anyway.
happy dog.
Well hung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm glad I asked about the PG because I wouldn't have if this had been going on previously. So
No, like Tim was going to say, we had one of our guests show his butt. So
Yes, one of our friends.
That's not a requirement. You don't have to do that.
thought it
No.
was funny. He was turning around.
sorry,
It's optional. You know, it is optional.
Yeah,
I'm past the butt showing days. I'm sorry.
Me too.
That was a decade or two ago. You know, not now. Now
Come on to General Hospital.
it was either 84 or 86.
You were on there.
I was there.
Oh, you
About
kidding?
86, I left for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I was on, Sharon Wyatt was on.
Yep, John Riley.
John Riley.
Yeah.
And of course, Finola and Ian.
Probably Jack Wagner.
Oh, so were
I
you-
don't know. I think
You didn't work with Jack?
was our friend Judith?
The last time I worked with
No.
Jack was about 84.
Oh, you
yeah,
worked
so
with
I
Jack?
was on after that. And I was on until 1990.
Oh,
I remember your character well.
Yeah, she was fun.
I remember
Yeah.
One Life to Live character more.
I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
that one went all over the place. That was so much fun.
Your character was hysterical on One Life to Live.
Yeah, well, she didn't start out that way.
Yeah.
After I went to a mental institution for the umpteenth freaking time, all they can figure out to do with me at ABC is put me in a mental institution.
You're like,
So I came out of the mental institution and I was like, she's going to have a sense of humor now because this is getting really old.
Right. Well, now did
So
your
they didn't
character?
write it, but I played it really funny. And then Michael
That's
Malone
why
started
you're doing
writing it like that. And it was so much fun. I had the best time. I really
Yeah.
did.
Well, did your character interact with the character that was Vicky and Nikki?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
oh yeah, I remember Vicky.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember how
Yeah.
I saw that from a very young child. They started that storyline with her, and it was still in black and white. And I'm like, this little kid, and I'm watching this actress, and she's so sweet and a wonderful mother and everything. Then all of a sudden, she's like this real bitch. And it was Vicky and
Yeah.
Nikki, and that was my
Yeah.
first introduction to a split personality. It was from One Life to Live.
Yeah, yeah, she did a good job with that. I'm not real crazy about that, unless the person's really, really different. I mean, different in every way. You
I
know,
mean,
like civil, something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, did-
Tristan,
It's funny how, yeah.
are you
I
going to
know
bring me
he's-
back to General Hospital?
come on, Tristan.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm in for, but I mean,
That's not what she said.
Are you bringing her
They-
back?
You
She
have to
said, are
bring
you going to bring her back?
I don't have a whole lot of clout in there these days. So
Oh, I
it's
think
probably just as well if I keep my mouth shut.
I
The
know.
quickest endorsement out the door you can get is to have me recommend you.
Oh, well.
I'm not saying it's out of the question. It's
I
all
know.
about the part.
Of course, yeah, but they were going to bring Olivia back, and she was supposed to come back that October, and it's just so painful to
Were
me.
you a Jerome? Jerome?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 That's what I thought, but it was, a little while ago.
Well,
So.
General Hospital, this is just my 2 cents worth. As someone that loved watching soap operas, I think what would be really cool is if when they start back, they create like a huge event and everyone had a reason to come back into Port Charles. So they have all these old characters, hence old actors, and they bring them back in.
Former
Yeah.
You're not
Not
old.
old.
characters.
Oh,
Former.
Characters.
I said actors, a character.
Not older actors. No, 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 no. no.
That's actually a great idea. I mean,
And then
I
they
love
create
that idea.
Like,
havoc. And they
Study in the
see where
library.
the audience wants the
Right.
storyline to go.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live,
Erica,
when they need
great
to
idea.
get a bang, they bring in cast members that have been around for a while, and everybody's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
my gosh."
and people that they never even had in their storyline interact with one another and watch these actors that aren't old
That's right.
interact with one
Former.
another.
I think it'll be interesting to see how many viewers we've lost when
Yeah.
they come back and start doing it.
I don't think
Uh,
they'll lose them. I think they'll come back.
Well,
I
they
think
did
some
after
of them will.
OJ ruined daytime. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, he was one of the things. It was actually ruined before he got into the picture.
Oh, you mean because they interrupted it
watched
with
the-
his
yeah.
trial?
Everybody watched those trials and they would tune in to watch their soaps. And some days they were on and some days they weren't. Most days they weren't.
And it was before everyone was recording and all.
And it takes 21 days to break a habit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're
And he was-
preempting shows, that's a highway to hell
Yeah.
That's what happened.
for serial drama. It really is.
Yep. You gotta.
Yeah.
That whole period of time in the 90s is when we started seeing these major stories implode, like when Princess Diane.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That I mean, and it was, but we started seeing all these things
Yeah.
in the time, and it was a rude awakening.
That's when the paparazzi really started.
Yeah.
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 is that when it got really bad? Because I was
Yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
It was pretty bad in the 80s though, too. Because we would go out to dinner and then we'd come out and there'd be like 1 million people for Tristan. You know?
But they
Yeah.
didn't have as many ways to broadcast that in the 80s as they did in the 90s.
Right, now
Then they
they-
started having all the TV shows that were about all of that.
Right.
I have TMZ
Yeah.
show, yeah.
Connection to that stuff. The ABC has to go to YouTube when it once repeats now. Yes. They don't have a boss.
Wait, I just
Why?
found out that's sick.
There's more
They go
stuff
to
on, there's more stuff on YouTube than there is other places. And the networks have to go there. Oh, not CBS. They've got everything they ever broadcast. Everything. Because William Paley was a huge historian. So they've got a hollowed out mountains with everything in it, a copy of everything that CBS ever did,
Wow.
including
Well,
the commercial.
Well, yeah, I mean, the
I
crazy
think that's
thing,
good, though. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I
the crazy
agree.
thing is that, I mean, I guess it's not crazy, but it's just sad that people didn't save copies of old shows. But I was reading something, in the last year or two that I think this was in England, but there was some guy who was just he was just this guy that lived alone and he recorded everything.
Oh, wow.
And so he just had VCR tapes and he would never delete them. He would just label them and he would put them on the shelf. And that was sort of his hobby. And eventually they realized this guy had the only copies of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes of all these different.
Wow.
And they wound up using them and they made it like a historical record. But it's just one guy who's probably a little screwed up in the head.
Yeah.
Just,
So we can chalk one up for the hoarders.
Recording everything, and that's the only reason those things exist. It's kind of weird. But gosh, didn't anybody think that maybe we should say this for the for the future? I don't know.
I'd love to have some of the shows that I thought were like there was this one that you can see online where I got drunk with Asa.
I tell you what, Alex, you tell a story. Tell me about the glory days in the FAB. What Central American coup was yours?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I was nominated for the Mata Hari Award 4 years in a row.
Is that right?
Well, actually, there's a lot more stories I could tell you than that, but there's some very interesting stories about when I was with Carlo. I have a secret I'll tell you, but you can't tell anybody. You really want to know? I know where Jimmy Hoffa is buried.
You here. Take the towel and throw it in. You are finished.
I'm not finished. My name is Olenov, and I have not yet begun to drink.
And it was really one of the funniest things I've ever done.
I'll find it.
And then when I got married to Carlo, and
I love that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my
so
favorite.
funny. And I was like, okay, you say this, you say this, you say this. I memorized my lines. And so she was just so like incredible. Everybody was dressed in black. It was.
I was gonna say you had some crazy outfit on.
It was amazing. Well, it was the Cleopatra with Asa and all black lace, very sexy with Carlo.
I remember 1994, and that soap was the first soap, One Life to Live, to tackle the gay issue.
Yes,
They
the
had a
quilt.
yes.
Yes, we took the quilt to DC.
And it was amazing. They did a really good job with it.
Yeah,
and
they really did.
No one else would do it on a daytime.
That was Ryan Phillippe's first job.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Ryan Phillippe, yes.
Oh, I did just recently see that clip. That's funny.
Yeah, he came on our show, and now I'm like, Ryan Phillippe's this huge movie star.
Yeah.
You know, and he was this young kid. A lot of the people
I
from
admired them for having the chutzpah to do it.
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. But that's what soap operas used to do all the time.
No, they would totally take the social issue of the time and bring it into a small town and show the people's reaction to it. And it was really,
They should do that with this stupid disease thing.
I know. Right.
I don't think anyone in daytime will touch it at the moment.
I think they should be
You
doing
don't?
something like this.
Why not, Tristan? Why do you think not?
Because I think it's controversial, and the soaps don't like that at the moment. They like to handle issues that they can handle. And the coronavirus thing has so many bad things around it that they're not going to touch it at the moment.
Well, and it's also,
I understand the Bay is
It
going to
is
touch it.
unpredictable.
Really? Good for him.
I
Good for
believe.
Gregory. Well, I mean, I think at least they should say in the dialogue something about, I ran out of those freaking masks. Do you have any?
Yeah.
I mean, some kind of acknowledgement when you come in the door and you got a mask on your face, or when you get,
Right.
Right.
I had to go back to the car because I forgot my mask. I mean, just just so that people can acknowledge the fact that what have we been doing for 5 months?
Right. Exactly. I think they have to.
yeah, I guess it depends on, well, what's the lead time between when you do a show and then when it actually airs? Like
Who knows?
21 days.
21 days. So, I mean, so you have to assume that when it airs that it's still relevant. You don't know. I feel like, I'm just guessing, but the problem about bringing it up at all is if at the time you're filming it, everybody's just sort of wearing masks, but everything's fairly okay. And so you walk into somebody's house and you're like, hey, baby. And then, but by the time it airs, it's either completely gone away or it's gotten so much worse that everybody's not allowed to leave the house again. And then it just feels really weird. So by not talking about it at all, it just skirts having to be right when it comes out. I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitballing.
But
Well-
my Amazon Prime, I have one episode up. The second one, they don't have a problem with for uploading. If the third episode has to do with the coronavirus, but it's only in the title do they even know that, and it's called Social Distance Scene, not Distance. And
Is it a porn show?
I got a flag, and they're like going through it and really reviewing it to make sure that it's okay.
So I guess, so what you learn from that is just don't name them weird things.
Don't name them anything that's in the current news.
Yeah. Episode 2 should be called Episode 2.
Right. I like that. Thank you, Tim.
Like weird things happen on my screen.
You are?
Like what?
Oh, she's freeze. She's
Did you freeze again?
yeah.
So did Garrick. Garrick froze.
No.
Okay.
No, he
She's taking a drink. Oh wait, she's back.
Oh, she's back.
Tanya, did everything get slow or something?
Yeah, it got weird.
Everything got really slow and weird. And it said my bandwidth is low.
Everybody, shut your yap. Right. This brings an end to 6 Blocks Apart. There's a lot of people are mercifully staggering away from their televisions. Hey, baby, it's great to see you. You look good.
I love the new haircut.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you was long.
Can you hear her?
losing
I
her.
don't think
Okay, go.
Yeah, she can hear us.
she's.
She can hear us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can hear
close
you.
for a sec.
you can. Okay. We all got to go. We'll do it again.
Okay.
All right?
I loved having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being
Tanya,
here.
Pleasure.
thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much. Let's
Call
get
me.
together soon.
Okay. Okay. That sounds great.
It's,
Bye.